Hi everyone, I am Krista McNamara, Managing Editor of ABRN Magazine. Managing a successful collision repair business in today's market is about so much more than just a quality collision repair. I'm here today with Brad Mewes. He's a shop management consultant and author of the blog Supplement Financial Insight for the Automotive Industry Professional. Brad uses his weekly blog to focus on business, finance, and corporate strategy, all geared toward collision repair shop. So Brad, in your recent blog, Buy, Sell, or Hold, The Risks, you talked about the challenges that are facing shop owners when considering each of these three strategies. What are some of the things that owners need to keep in mind?
Yeah, so essentially owners, when they're looking towards the future, have three choices in front of them. They could stand pat and compete on a standalone basis against other larger competitors in the industry. They can buy other businesses and attempt to become their own mini consolidator, or they could attempt to sell to a larger organization. These strategies and carries inherent risks with it. And the reality is there's no one right solution that fits for everybody. So for example, if an owner's looking to stand pat, the risk that are involved in that is what we call in finance a concentration risk. So the reality is that most owners, they may own one or two locations, maybe they own the real estate as well, but the concentration of risk is in one business, in one city, in one town, often in one street, in one asset class. And if any negative event happens to that one very specific area, it could be catastrophic for the owner. So the concentration of risk is a very risky strategy. Similarly, if you are looking to buy, to expand into other areas, that's a very risky strategy as well. The reality is we've all heard stories of acquisitions gone bad, of skeletons in the closet that come out after the fact, and nobody knew about them until the buyer put the money down, the seller fled off with the money, and the buyer was left with no recourse. So it's a potentially very risky strategy to expand that way as well, and it requires a team and a management team who's been there before to be able to accurately identify those risks, to mitigate those. Also, if you are looking at selling to an organization, the reality is in the collision industry, you will be selling most likely to an organization that's much larger than you, that has much more experience than you. And while these organizations could be very effective at helping you get a deal to the end of the table, you also don't want to offload all of the sensitive activities of engaging in the sale, negotiating in the sale, and managing that process to someone who's potentially buying you. There's a conflict of interest involved in that. So each one of those strategies, while they're all viable strategies to grow and viable strategies to manage your business, they carry risk with them, and a prudent business owner, a prudent business manager will set up strategies to mitigate those risks.
Why is it so important for shop owners to decide which of these three strategies they want to go forward with now?
Well, so each of the strategies, there's no one size fits all approach, and it really depends on what your own personal situation is. So I've spoken with owners who are in their mid to late 60s, and they're looking for what we call a liquidity event. They would love to grow, they love to expand, they have that fire in them, but they realize that on the timeline of life, now is not the most opportune time to do that. Similarly, I've spoken with younger owners who are in their mid-30s who say, yeah, now is a really great time to grow. Yeah, consolidation's a risk, but at the same time, I have a lot of runway ahead of me, and I could really grow and build a business. And then similarly, I've spoken with owners who or fall in the middle and say, you know, I've run a very successful business for many years. I want to keep doing what I know how to do well. I don't want to change that. So each one of these strategies means that there's going to be different actions and different decisions that an owner makes. And so the sooner an owner can identify what their approach going forward is, the better prepared they'll be to execute in that strategy.
Great. Thank you so much for your insight, Brad. I hope shop owners can really take the information you've provided and, apply it to be helpful in their business. So to learn more and to read Brad's full article, Buy, Sell, or Hold, The Risks, visit abrn.com/risks, or you can visit Brad's blog directly at sup-co.com. Again, that's sup-co.com.